This time session is It Takes a Village in the Singapore Career Development Trade. Let's start.
Thank you. And you know what? We are from Singapore, right? And we got something for Momoko as well because she introduced us. So Momoko, this is for you from Singapore. If you take Singapore Airlines, you see the flight stewardess, they wear the attire. This is the pattern on the attire. So I hope you enjoy this play. Thank you for introducing us. Thank you. All right.
Awesome. How's everyone doing in the house?
Very
Great. You know, just before if you came in, I just want to ensure that you've got a part of Singapore. Right? If you come in, you see our happy face. We gave you lots of this goodie. If you don't have it, can you please raise your hand like right now? How many of you not have it? Hey, come on, man. Give this man a pack. Come on. Anyone that don't have, or anyone you think you do not have enough. Okay, just that gentleman right there. Thank you very much. Yeah. Oh, come on. Yeah, raise your hand. We'll just give it to you. Okay. Now. Okay, thank you very much. It's too close, right? Because yeah. Thank you all. Good morning. You're wondering, what are we doing here? So if you're aware, you're coming to a small part of Singapore, and the delicacy that you have on your hand is actually something that's very close to most Singaporeans. And its delicacies is what we call tidbits in Singapore, we call it. So just walk you through very quickly what you have with you. This is a preserved orange, and it's sour. So this is one of my favorite. This helped me lasted through school. Yeah. So. Oh yeah. And so there was this saying with me and Gerald just now is that we hope you don't use this, you don't get to use it. Yeah, because it's sour, yeah, it keeps you up. Yeah, it's good. Thank you so much. Man, yeah. So if you want more of this, come to Singapore. 2021, right? And next one, we have Gerald.
Yeah, and this, I've been told, this is tapioca chips. Goes very well with beer, right? But as Brian mentioned earlier, everything goes well with beer.
Everything.
Yeah, but this is really nice. Very crunchy, very sticky as well. So, and if you like a bit of spice, this is something you should get.
Yeah, and then we have another one, which is something that I grew up in Singapore. It's called BB. Yeah, BB. It's an orange small pack. It's actually thanks Juan. So this is like dry cracker. It's like cracker, prawn cracker. It's very good. So when the days when I'm saving up money to buy my favorite toy, I live on this. So I just save the rest, my 99% of my allowance, and I'll just buy a toy and I'll survive on this. It's very filling. But please don't do that. Yeah. And next but last but not least, this is
called wang wang. In Chinese, the Chinese word wang wang means prosperous, but in English it's spelled as want. So it's like you want this. These are rice crackers. Very addictive. Once you open one of them and you put it in your mouth, you never stop more. Right? Yeah. So I grew up eating a lot of these until my mom says it's too much for me.
Yes, it's too much. And for those of our friends here who are from Asian countries, wang wang is very familiar to some of us. Yeah, so there's wang wang, there's wang wang champagne. These are some examples. But the reason why the team decided to do this is because we want to bring Singapore to you. And what better way also to bring Singapore to you than besides the food, is also to tell you about the Singapore Career Development Village. So tell me, Gerald, how did we actually end up here?
Wow, I was thinking we'll never get to that. Otherwise, we have the food talk, right, in Singapore. So, very, very good that you actually reminded us. It all started with a dinner, right, as we are on. So, we are really very thankful to Dr. Roberta. Last year in Singapore, this is us. This was in August 2018. We brought her out for dinner, and then she was sharing with us about her work about It Takes a Village, her career engagement model. And then when she looked around the table and she said, "Hey, you guys are all from different parts of career development in Singapore. Why don't you guys do a presentation at APCDA Vietnam, right? And if you are there, I will be there."
Yeah.
And then we'll think to ourselves, are you sure this is what we are getting? We are treating you to dinner and you're asking us to do work? Joking, right? But, we are so glad that we took up her challenge. And we worked on the paper together, and that's why we are here today. So it's not just me and Jeremiah. We have Yvonne, James, and Andrew standing there as well. And they'll provide their fair share of sharing with you as well. So let's get to what we cover today, Jeremiah.
Yeah, so the village that we are talking about here, of course we prepared a paper, and if you want details later, we're going to give it to you. So just give you an appetizer. So what you see here, the village we're going to cover is primarily made of three for this presentation purpose, from the university to the labor movement, and of course, last but not least, the government. So just a quick introduction of where myself and Gerald, I'm from Workforce Singapore. So it is a government agency that spearheads career development and enabling Singaporean workforce to manage a lifetime of career transition.
My name is Gerald. I'm from Skills Future Singapore. So, when we talk about business career, there's two parts to it. There's a job part and there's a skills part. So, Skills Future Singapore takes care of that. We provide education and career guidance for students all the way to workforce. So, our companies used to be one together. Then, because of certain reasons later we should explain, it became two companies, right? So, shall we get started?
Yeah, let's bring it down some meaning.
So now I'm going to just do a very accelerated 40-year journey back in time to share with you what happened in Singapore. Are you guys ready? I hope you are. So, in Singapore, our career development journey can be described as a 40-year journey. Just only 40 years compared to the US, hundreds of years. So, back in the 1970s, we had this 20-year period where we were looking at career guidance in schools, right? So, the Ministry of Education, they started off providing very basic career guidance. And you know what? It was as basic as providing reading materials in the corner of a classroom. And the students just went there by that time. This was in the 1970s. By the time we reached 1990s, 1980s, they started to do a lot more work there. They started to learn about the theories from the States, the Holland, Scotland, Super. And then they started to form a dedicated unit of counselors. And they had this curriculum where they brought the students through career education. And by 1997, all the schools, national schools, they had some form of basic career guidance curriculum in schools.
Yeah, and anyone remember during 1997, there was a significant event that happened around the world. Any takers? Sorry? Oh, recession. Yeah, that's right. But specifically, one recession that shook the world. Remember? The Asian financial crisis, and that was in 1997, 1998. And that was also the same time that the government started to take more effort to take career development more seriously, because as you can see from here, it's predominantly in the school system. So the government started saying, hey, we're going to do something for our workforce. And at a time where the financial crisis hit, along with the subprime, and of course the other things that followed, in 2001, the government started to take more efforts, more national level, policy level intervention to ensure that career development is going to be slowly implemented over the next 10 years. If you look at the next slide, right up to 2006 and 2008, wow, I was in my first job then. And you can see over here, we started to introduce formal training, vocational career development training. And we all know that it comes in the name of GCDF, the Global Career Development Facilitation. And seated among us here today is one of the two founding people who brought GCDF to Singapore. So there's actually Sinchi and Han. Can you both stand up, please? Yeah, could you please stand up? Sinchi and Han, please. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and moving forward, Gerald. Yeah.
So we shared with you the first two shifts. The first shift introduction was in schools. Then because of the recession, because of SARS and subprime crisis, the government decided to focus on the workforce, providing jobs for people because people are losing their jobs. So right now, we are in the next phase. The last 10 years have been interesting because the government wants to be more proactive instead of reactive. Instead of reacting to national crisis for the economy, they want to kind of move forward to preempt the changing workforce, so the Industry 4.0. So back in 2015, the government did restructuring of the economy. They decided that certain economies needed to be phased out, certain economies needed to change. So with that, they split our company, where we were working for, into two. Skills Future Singapore became the one that looked into providing career education from schools all the way to workforce. Previously, they were separate. Now they're together. And for Workforce Singapore, the government decided to say, let's help the workers be ready to transit into next jobs. They are not just concerned with the current job, but they're concerned with jobs for the next move. So that is really something that has been happening in Singapore. And besides that, the community has been growing as well. You know, the local career development practitioners, we estimate around there are 300 to 400 practitioners who have some form of basic training, right? Whether it is in our local framework, which was just launched last year, or in the NCDA frameworks, CCSP equivalents, right? GCDF equivalents. And we are so happy that for a small island, we actually have 2 local associations, the People and Career Development Association, as well as the Career Development Association of Singapore. So they are the ones who are working together with the government to bring the community together to form this code of ethics and this practice-oriented feel to this very interesting and growing group of people in Singapore.
That's right. So, and you know, if you move the next slide, you also see then the question is, hey, you know, but what are the influences that actually so much has been said over the past 30 plus years? So the first one, if you look at it,
from schools today, it's fair to say that a student from the age of 11, they're able to get access into career education from their families, of course, and also from the school, what we call ECG, Education and Career Guidance Units, right? And all the way from schools to middle school to college, they have access to counselors, they've got access to a national system that helps them do exploration and self-awareness as well. And when they grow up and they move into the workforce, the government provides public employment services for them, and this is all free. The citizens don't pay a single cent for all these services, right? And it's not just the government doing this. The labor movement, which are the unions, they also weigh in on that. So later James will be sharing a little bit more of that. You must be wondering, what is the union doing in career development, right? Well, they have a story to tell. And we also have a fair share of private providers. They come in with technology solutions, as well as more niche kind of specialized career guidance services. But not forgetting some of the specialized segments like people who are from the ex-offenders or returning to work moms, right, or those with special needs. We have specialized agencies helping them as well from the non-profits. So, you know, Jeremiah, everything in Singapore seems to be well covered. Everyone seems to know about career development, right? Why is this so?
Yeah. So, I think that's the single most important question. Why would the government take such trust for on a national level and drive it as an impetus? So you can see, actually, Singapore, we've been benefiting from the way our government has been configured. So some of us who perhaps study a bit of social politics, you're familiar with this thing called the developmental state model. And that is what it is. So I've summarized the entire developmental state model just into 3 simple things. And the 3 simple things is, number 1, being a developmental state nation, the government plays a heightened proactive role in ensuring the welfare and the progression of its citizen. Number 2, it takes a lot of policy, as you can see, as Gerald was sharing earlier. We have industry transformation maps. We have skills frameworks for as much as 30 plus industries, because we are taking an active social economic approach to enabling the industry to change, redesign their jobs, and bring in jobs. And that impacts the first one. And last but not the least, Singapore being a very small nation, our resources are scarce. And talking about natural resources, we only have 1 natural resources. You want to make a guess what it is? Employment, people, human resource. You know, and that didn't come from me. That came from our founding father, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew. And he said this more than 50 years ago. And he said that, you know, if there's anything that we should invest in, it should be our people. Our people is the primary driving force of social good and economic development. So if there's anything that our policies and interventions should be, we should do gear towards raising the human capital of Singapore. And career development is no exception. Career development is definitely a catalyst for human capital development. And if you look at the next one, you're thinking, Gerald and Jeremiah, that sounds all nice and rosy. But you know what? As much as we are developed, we have our own challenges as well. So this is a paper just released last month. So my professor and a few other fellows wrote this, they did the research. So if we are so advanced, people look at us as first world economy. How is it then we're still struggling with the war on talent? So depending on how we view war on talent, right? To get the war on talent will be taking the best 10% from the top universities. Well, Singapore, we can't compete on that level. But what we can do is we come from a wealth of talent point of view. Now, how do you activate a nation of people, of human capital potential waiting to be unleashed? And that is why career development is important. So if you look at this is also in line with what ICCTP, we all know that that's taking place next month. In 2017, this is a definition of career, and it's in line internationally. And it's close, I'm sure, close to the hearts of all of us here as career practitioners here. Career development as a strategy and a mechanism to enable social good, to do good to the individual on a social level and as a nation. And that is what we're here to share. And to put it further, this is our Manpower Minister, Josephine Teo, and she recently gave a very monumental statement to the whole of public Singapore. And he said that this year onwards we need to focus on this thing called career mobility. She is gearing up the agencies, especially my agencies at least, to ensure that we help Singaporeans become more mobile in their career. And this is why, and she said this, if you look at the bottom statement, no one wants to stay in the same spot forever. And it is through career mobility that we enable people to be truly socially mobile. And this is why this is the career village that you're going to see in a while. It's going to make this thing happen. Yeah.
Right. So, there's a lot really going on in Singapore. You kind of understood how far we have journeyed along, the developments, the milestones, and you kind of understood why Singapore is so big on career development. That's because of our government and the way we govern the nation. People are our only natural resource. We have to make everyone count. Right? So, in summary, we can say that today there are a lot of career guidance services in Singapore for everyone, and that's free. Right? Second, the practitioners community is growing, right? Through the associations, through the credentialing, foreign and local. And lastly,
on a policy level, government ensures that these things are underpinning and supporting the quiet engine humming in the background, enabling resources and institutions to take advantage of our people, to enable them to grow in their career.
So Jeremiah, I think we spoke quite a bit already. Shall we introduce our...
About time, man.
Yes. Would you like to introduce?
Yeah, so let's, we talk so much, we're going to hand the mic over to some of the representatives of the village in Singapore. Starting with the university, would you put your hands together to welcome with me Yvonne Kong from the Nanyang Technological University of Singapore. Yvonne.
Thanks, Jeremiah. Thanks, Gerald. Can I have the speaker? Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I represent a group of us, university career development practitioners in Singapore. There are 6 autonomous universities, ranging from NUS, National University of Singapore, all the way to Singapore University of Social Sciences. Because of time, I need to give a very brief summary of what we do. But we are going to actually share with you our very comprehensive paper. So bear with me, yeah? I see myself as a university career development practitioner like a toolbox. Over the years, because people development is very important to me, I've amassed a series of tools. But of course, like all practitioners here, we don't dish out the tools at one go, right? We selectively bring out the right tool for the right person. The reason why I see myself as a toolbox is that I want my students to use me. Come, I have a lot of resources, I have a lot of tools, a lot of techniques, use me so that you can gain career clarity. The reason as to why I also want my students to be toolboxes is that I'm firmly believing that my students will be the next generation of multi-hyphenates. They cannot only have one area of depth. They must have multiple areas of depth, so that if in one way or another, their only area of depth is obsolete because of technology, they have other things to depend upon. So I see myself as a people developer, people enabler, and I'm very sure a lot of my fellow counterparts, my career development practitioners in the universities are the same. We want to bring the best in our very young charges. Now, the gameplay is not unfamiliar. A lot of us are very familiar with this gameplay. Students, industry partners. There are different things that we give our students in terms of soft skills, in terms of hard skills. We also work with industry partners because there is no point in developing our students, but there are no opportunities for the students. And there are a lot of times industry partners will come and ask me, for some reason, The student has gone through 5 rounds of interviews and I lose the student at the last round. Why? Why is the student not accepting my offer? And that's where we come in, when we have that autonomy to design talent development programs for them. I find that a huge privilege. Because here we are, we know both sides. We know the students, we know the industry partners, we bridge them together so that we can really build the next generation of people. My students, our students in the universities, they fall into these 3 categories. As students who tell me, right from day one, I don't know what I'm doing in my life. I think I chose the wrong course. I never wanted to do accountancy. My parents, and you must understand in Singapore, is very patriarchal still. Whatever I do, I must please my parents as much as possible, right? Yeah, I never wanted to do accountancy, and they start crying in front of me. First group. Second group, I know exactly what I want to do, Miss Yvonne. I want to be an investment banker, $12,000 a month. I want to be in a startup because it's very sexy to be the next whoever, fill the blanks. Yeah? Regardless of whatever they tell me, a lot of times they come with certain preconceived notions. Second group. Now, the third group is where I think a lot of us feel the most for. I see myself like that big leaf, taking care of that small leaf. What do I mean? There are a lot of my students, I tell them, hey, you know what? There's a 6-month internship in Boeing, Seattle. Would you like to go? Fully funded, paid for. Miss Yvonne, I don't want. Why? I think I'm not there yet. Maybe you give me 1 more year. I said, 1 more year, the opportunity is going to go. It's going to be gone. A lot of my students think that they are here, but I see them as here. And I want to be that one. I know a lot of my counterparts have the same heartbeat. We want to bring that talent, we want to bring that young student from here to here. And this is what we want to do. And therefore, if you're a big fan of Japanese food, you know the dish on the left. It's called hanamaki. Salmon, raw salmon, sandwiching and enveloping this dollop of rice with mayonnaise and with fish roll. And you can't eat it in one, or rather in 2 bites. You got to put the whole thing in your mouth and you start chewing. The creaminess of the mayo and the salmon and the fish roll bursting in your mouth. Have I made all of you hungry? Oh yeah, right, okay, yes. Now, if you were a Japanese management consultant to a group of Japanese fishermen, what would you do in this scenario? You want fresh salmon. A long time ago, the Japanese fishermen, they can just travel out to the sea and come back within a day because there are plenty of fishes in the sea. However, through the years, because of various influences, they have to travel way further to get their fishes. And they come back in 3-4 days' time. The fishes come back, they go to the Japanese restaurants, very tough. The meat is no longer fresh. How do they ensure that the fishes that they bring back are still good fishes with fantastic flesh for hanamaki? What would you do if you're the Japanese management consultant? You might want to freeze the fish. No, the flesh is going to get tough. You want to drag the fishes in the boats all the way back to Japan, to the coast. Your nets are going to break. At the end of the day, what they thought was that they will put the fishes in tanks, but in every tank they put a shark, a baby shark. So they arrive at the Japanese restaurants very alert, very alive, because they were swimming in the tanks all the way. Right? Of course, some of them got eaten up by the shark, but the rest of them, they arrive at the restaurants fresh. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I tell this to my students. I'm the baby shark. I keep them on their toes. I hope to be the one to push them out from their comfort zone into their stretch zone. I never want to put them in that panic zone. If I see that that child is in the panic zone, I say, you know what, my dear, come back. Come back to the stretch zone, come back to the comfort zone. We will bring you to that level. And that's what I believe a lot of my counterparts in the universities are trying to do. The strength of our relationship is very important with them. In a way, we are privileged enough to be with them for 3 to 4 years, depending on the length of the program. I will never forget what my mentor taught me. He told me, people will forget what you say, but they will never forget how you make them feel. And here I am, here we are in the universities, we're trying to make a difference to that child so that we can build career capital to the end of their careers. Regardless, is it 80 or 90 years old, right? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I'm going to pass the time to the labor movement. Thank you.
10 minutes to go.
Hi everyone, my name is James. I'm from the labor movement. So sometimes we'll ask, what does the labour movement have to do with career development? So actually, what we try to do is we try to represent workers, and we want to protect workers. That's what unions do. And of course, to protect them, we believe in better jobs for better life. We believe that workers must earn their salary. It's not that I'll just increase your salary and just do the same production. If not, the companies will go out of business. So we want to benefit workers by also helping companies as well to help the workers. So here you can see the skyline of Singapore. You can see that it is nice and beautiful, but there are still some areas that may be grey out. Sometimes when people see this picture, they think that Singapore is vibrant, we are doing well, there's no issues. But there's a lot of issues out there that people don't really know. As you can see over here, all these lights, there's actually a worker working there, getting the job done. But somewhere in their life, things might happen like unemployment, retrenchments, they get lost in life. So these are real people with real lives, and that's something that we got to understand. That's something that I try to keep real in my job. They are not just unemployment statistics, but it's just they are something that I want to work towards, I want to help. Okay, so who do we serve? As a labour movement, we try to serve the workers of all colours, which means fresh entry in the workforce, career transitioners, virtual workers, long-term unemployed, retrenched workers, basically everybody, Singaporean and Singaporean permanent residents. Okay, coming back to why I do what I do. I see myself as an employability coach. I see myself as the wood cutter. I try to provide fuel for my clients to keep them warm during this dark time of unemployment. Sometimes when you have no work, there are a lot of bills, a lot of stress, there's this bandwidth tax on them, and it really takes them away from the joy of life. They have to really struggle every day. So this is what I try to do. I try to help them and support them bit by bit, a little bit of firewood at a time. Some of the programs that we have would include one-to-one coaching, group coaching, of course the usual employability skills workshop and industry networking session, recruitment events. That's what we try to do. We engage the companies because we are in the companies as well. So we engage companies to try to bridge the gap between the job seeker and the company. Let the company know what's happening, let the job seeker know what's happening as well. And let me share with you a story, this real life story, where I was helping this guy, Mr. Lim. He was working in this company for over 10 years as a senior network engineer, and then he got retrenched. So when he got retrenched, he was shocked. And it took some time to accept it, because he's been working for 10 years, he's been putting in a lot of effort, a lot of heart. So what they did, the unions came in to engage him at the company to talk about his package and all that, fight for his rights. And after that, we, as in Employment and Employability Institute, we, the career coaches, come in to support them, to talk to them, talk to him on site, and find out what's the issues that he's facing, how can we better help him. Basically, our job there is to go there, give him a pat on the back and say, hey, we are here. So we sent him for some customized employability skills workshop, career fair. In the end, he was assisted into relevant employment, so he found something else in the end. So that's something that I feel that it's important. Walk that journey with him through the darkness. Okay, so let me introduce you, my colleague Andrew. We work together with the government, so let's bring in the government now.
Thank you so much, James. Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Andrew. Okay, I'm from Workforce Singapore, and we provide public career services to the Singapore workforce. I see my work as something that's very meaningful, because I would use the analogy of a lighthouse, providing light and direction to many of the lost ships out there in the seas who are at their career crossroads. I see my work as making a difference in helping them to reach their career goals. Okay? And I believe a picture speaks 1,000 words, and I'd just like to share with you some of the lives that have been touched over the years. Yep. So I'm some photos on the left will be myself together with the Prime Minister of Singapore celebrating the success of one of my clients. And because of the help that she has gotten through us, she's now able to support her daughter through medical school. And that's something that we feel very proud of, that we have indeed made a difference in our family life. And on the right, it's myself, together with the Manpower Minister in the middle. Yep, I brought along the graduates, from my career center, who have successfully found jobs through our assistance. And we know that we have helped them to also move into jobs that are in demand. For example, the lady on the right-hand side, she managed to make a career switch to go into digital marketing, a skill that's highly sought after right now in today's age. Okay, and I know some of you have just reached. I've given out this blue color brochure. Okay, for those of you who do not have, you can share with the person in front of you on your side. And at the end of the workshop, right, you can get a copy from me as well. Alright. Okay, so in this brochure, right, it explains the 5 different programs that we offer to the Singapore workforce. Okay, these 5 different programs caters to different needs. Okay, and it's a very good review as to what my colleagues are going to share in upcoming breakout sessions. I'll talk about the first one. The first one will be called the Career Catalyst Program. Oh, yeah, it's okay. Career Catalyst Program, where it provides one-to-one guidance. Okay, and in one of the breakout sessions, my colleague Angeline Chiang, she will share with you how she walks through these clients in a very detailed and structured way to help the clients reach their career goal. So that's one-to-one. We also have this Career Activator Program, okay, whereby we want to help clients to have a deeper insights and understanding about the working environment before making a decision to join a company. And R stands for recharger. It's because that there are many of our clients who feel depressed or rejected after many rounds of rejection in our job application or interviews. And we provide this counseling support to these clients to help them to be more motivated and to cope with this impact of job loss. And this session is also will be shared in more details with my colleague Belinda and Christine as well. And E stands for Energize. We believe that many clients, they are very close to their career goals, but they may just need some help in terms of their job search skills, and that's where we refer them to our Career Energizer workshops in a group setting. Okay? And last but not least would be the Career 360, whereby we would actually match many of the clients to potential employers through networking platforms. Okay, and we are very pleased to have my colleague Sean and as well as Chris now to share more in details in the breakout session as well. Okay, and I want to actually share with you about the video that will summarize, the transformation of our career services over the years. Oh, okay. It's okay. You can actually request for the video from us, and we will actually send it to you if you're time constrained. Okay, and now I will hand the time over to back to Jeremiah and Gerald to do the closing.
Thanks, Andrew. So we are trying to keep within the time frame. So we're going to summarize. So much has been said, and this is just an overview of what the entire village is doing. But then, and while these are being presented and shared, we as a nation of Singapore, and the village that makes things happen, we still have our challenges. And challenges like, we're still finding our way around. How can we best help our youth career? How do we better prepare them for the careers of tomorrow? For careers which job that doesn't exist yet. How do we help them? And for individuals who have entered the workforce, how do we help them to continue to narrate their career, reconstruct themselves quickly, adapt with the time, and stay on job? And of course, as Jerry mentioned earlier, how then do we help those who are from the special needs, people with mental health, challenges faced by individuals returning from work, and of course, people with physical disabilities. So these are our challenges, and we welcome you, after today's session, to come and talk with us, share with us what your country is actually currently doing in this area.
Jeremiah, you brought up all these as local challenges, but we see these as global challenges. We know that all of you in your respective nations, where you work at, these are the things that you are concerned about as well. So you know what? There's no magic silver bullet that solves all these things at one go. But what we do believe is, we met the Singapore Career Development Village, but really together, as you see this morning in the photo, we are a global career development village. All of us have something to contribute to each other, and by connecting together, we will be able to derive some of these solutions for our work, right? So we actually have this very interesting activity, but I don't think we have time to do it. But maybe I can get my colleagues to come in front here to demonstrate. As they come forward, they are holding strings beside them. Each string represents career development. The things that the people that they're helping through their work, whether it is for the government, in the university, or even the labor movement, right? So, but together, collectively as a global unit, they need to tie with each other. The tying process is not easy, right? They have to seek collaboration. They need to connect with each other, ask permission, right? And most importantly, sometimes when the knots, they don't know how to tie the knots together, they need to think out of the box. They have to customize the solutions, not just taking whatever the other party is doing. And then together, they can redefine themselves. And then you have an endless end-to-end process of helping each other. So we hope that all of you here see this as the end state when you attend an APCDA. I think this is really fitting that this is the start of the conference. We've got 2.5 days more to go. And I think, this is a great opportunity. Keep in mind, you are part of a global career development village.
Yeah, and in closing, this presentation here is really about just 5 to 10% of the actual content that we actually prepare on paper. Now, if you have a QR code scanner, or if you want to take out your phone now, go ahead and scan the QR code or enter the short URL. You will have access to our paper, full with resources and citation on where we get our information. Now, if you're coming from an international view, as Gerald accurately mentioned, we want to learn from you. The real conversation as a village, not just a Singapore village, but as an international APCDA career development village. We have so much to learn from one another, so much that we can hear and share with one another. And we hope that the conversation has only just started here. We continue to tie links together, continue to work with and learn with one another. And with that, thank you very much. You've been a great audience. If you want to find out, come and chat with us after this, we'll be right here. Thank you.
Presentation certificate.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
James.
Thank you.